There's a brutal truth no one likes to admit. Most of your problems don't come from bad luck. They come from the people you chose to keep close. And the scariest part? They don't look like enemies. They smile, they help, they act like friends. But behind the mask, they drain you, quietly, silently. People will always pretend. They'll pretend they care, pretend they're loyal, pretend they want to see you win. But if you knew what happens behind closed doors, if you could hear the conversations when you're not around, you'd realize you've been surrounded by parasites in disguise. Machiavelli understood something most people never will. The real enemy is rarely the one who shows their teeth. It's the one who hides behind a smile, feeding on your energy, your time, your life. They don't fight you openly. They weaken you slowly, silently. The truth is, if you don't learn how to cut certain people out of your life, you will never rise. You'll stay stuck, drained, betrayed over and over again, wondering why everything feels heavy, wondering why your plans never move forward. Look around, pay attention. The same faces that celebrate you are often the same faces that secretly hope you fail. You feel it. You've noticed the subtle shifts, the fake laughs, the forced smiles, the quiet tension in the room. That's not paranoia, that's survival. Because the price of being naive in this world is your peace, your progress, and sometimes your entire future. You cannot afford to be the fool in a world full of predators pretending to be friends. And let me be clear, this isn't about being bitter. This isn't about becoming cold. This is about power, self-respect, self-mastery. Because if you don't learn how to identify who's quietly draining you, you're handing them the keys to your downfall. In this video, I'll show you the 7 types of people Machiavelli himself would have eliminated without mercy. And when you learn to spot them, the way you see the people around you, and maybe even the way you see yourself, will never be the same.
The constant critic, the poison of subtle destruction. The first type of person Machiavelli would eliminate is the constant critic. And don't get it twisted. This person doesn't criticize to help. They criticize to weaken. Their words are weapons disguised as advice. They want you smaller, so they feel bigger. Ever notice how they always find a flaw? No matter how well you do, it's never enough. They'll downplay your progress, mock your ambitions, and cloak it all under, "I'm just being honest." But what they're really doing is planting seeds of self-doubt. And here's the dark part. They rarely know they're doing it. Some criticize out of jealousy, others out of failure. But the result is always the same. They slowly chip away at your confidence until you start questioning your own potential. Machiavelli knew that power starts in the mind, and critics, they attack the mind. Because once they make you second-guess yourself, they don't have to destroy you. You'll do it for them, silently, without even realizing it's happening. And it usually sounds like this. "Are you sure you can do that? Don't get your hopes up. People like us don't succeed at things like that." Little daggers disguised as care. If you don't recognize this pattern, you fall right into it. The constant critic steals your clarity, your motivation, your momentum, and before you know it, you're shrinking, settling, wondering why your life isn't moving forward. You need to understand something brutal. Their criticism isn't about you. It's about them. It's their failure screaming, their regret talking, their fear of being left behind, triggered every time you dare to rise. So remember, silencing them isn't about arguing. It's not about proving anything. It's about distance, silence, strategy. Because while they're busy judging, the real ones are busy building. And trust me, the next type is even more dangerous than this one.
The second type of person Machiavelli would remove without hesitation is the liar. And make no mistake, lies are not always big, obvious, or loud. Some are small, subtle, harmless, until they aren't. Because every lie is a crack in the foundation of trust. A liar doesn't just distort reality, they distort your reality. You start questioning what's true, what's not, what you actually know. And slowly, confusion sets in. And confusion, that's the perfect breeding ground for control and manipulation. Here's the cruel part. Liars don't always lie to hurt you. Sometimes it's about protecting their image. Other times it's about securing advantage. But either way, the result is the same. You're dealing with someone whose words are weapons, not bridges. Machiavelli knew this deeply. Whoever controls the narrative controls the outcome. And the liar? They're experts in crafting narratives, half-truths, convenient omissions, twisting reality just enough to serve their interests at your expense. The most dangerous liar isn't the one caught in big scandals. It's the one who lies in the small things, the friend who forgets to mention what was said behind your back, the co-worker who adjusts facts to make themselves look better, the partner who hides little truths until they snowball. And there's something you need to remember. A person who lies about the small things will eventually lie about the big things. It's just a matter of time. Every harmless lie is a rehearsal for something bigger, darker, and far more destructive. The liar destroys the most valuable currency any relationship has, certainty. Without it, there is no trust, no loyalty, no foundation. And when you're busy guessing what's real, you become easy to control, easy to manipulate, easy to break. So understand this, when words stop meaning something, people stop meaning something. The liar must be cut off, not because of anger, but because power cannot coexist with uncertainty. And trust me, the next type takes this damage to a whole new level.
The third type of person Machiavelli would eliminate is the pessimist. They wear negativity like armor. Everything is a problem. Nothing works. Everything is hard. And if it's not hard yet, they'll convince you it soon will be. Spend 5 minutes near a pessimist and feel what happens. Your energy drops. Your motivation fades. Your clarity clouds. They don't even have to attack you directly. Their presence alone suffocates ambition, dreams, and momentum. And here's the dangerous part. Pessimism spreads like a virus. Stay close long enough, and their hopeless lens starts to become yours. Suddenly, you begin doubting your goals, shrinking your visions, and settling for less without even realizing why. Machiavelli understood something most people miss. The battlefield isn't just the world, it's also the mind. And pessimists are like psychological landmines, silent destroyers, smiling carriers of defeat, disguised as just being realistic. Listen closely to their language. That'll never work.
people like us don't win. Why even bother trying? It's not advice, it's sabotage. And the worst, they believe they're helping you. In their mind, they're protecting you from disappointment, shielding you from failure. But what they're really doing is strangling your potential before it even has the chance to breathe. You must understand, a pessimist's presence guarantees stagnation. Keep them close and you'll normalize struggle, normalize failure, normalize living a life that's 10% of what it could be, because they've convinced you that's just how life is. Cut them off, not with hate, but with clarity. Because you cannot build an empire surrounded by voices that only speak of collapse. And trust me, if you think this is toxic, the next type will show you what real psychological warfare looks like.
The fourth type of person Machiavelli would eliminate is the narcissist. And make no mistake, this isn't just someone who's a little full of themselves. No. A true narcissist isn't satisfied unless the entire world revolves around them, including you. When you win, they feel attacked. When you shine, they feel threatened. To them, your growth is competition, your success is an insult, and the silent war begins. Not with weapons, but with subtle sabotage, backhanded compliments, and quiet manipulation. Machiavelli understood this perfectly, because narcissists aren't driven by logic, they're driven by ego. And ego is insatiable. No matter how much attention, praise, or validation you give them, it's never enough. They'll always want more. And here's the sinister part. If they can't be above you, they'll settle for watching you fall. You'll notice the pattern. They discredit your ideas. They hijack conversations. They subtly undermine your achievements until you either shrink or explode. It always starts the same. Who do you think you are? You wouldn't have that without me. You should be grateful I even help you. It's not advice, it's control. What makes narcissists truly dangerous is how invisible their war is. It's psychological, emotional, quiet. Outsiders rarely see it. You're the only one who feels it. The tension, the anxiety, the constant need to walk on eggshells just to keep the peace. Stay close to a narcissist long enough, and you'll start believing that shrinking yourself is the price for keeping the relationship, that hiding your light is the cost of keeping the peace. And that's how they win, not by force, but by exhaustion. Understand this, there is no peace with a narcissist, only control. Either they win or you disappear. And trust me, the next type doesn't just attack your confidence, they attack your entire reputation.
The gossip, the silent assassin of reputations. The fifth type of person Machiavelli would eliminate is the gossip. And don't be fooled. Gossip isn't just talk. It's currency for weak minds. It's a weapon disguised as conversation. And the price of keeping one around is always your reputation. Gossips operate in silence, smiling in your face while handing your name to anyone who will listen. They survive by trading pieces of other people's lives, and if they do it to others, you better believe they do it to you too. Machiavelli understood the power of information, because in the wrong hands, information is a blade. The gossip doesn't need to attack you directly. All they have to do is plant a doubt, whisper a rumor, twist a fact, and let the damage spread on its own. And here's the worst part. They always pretend it's harmless. I'm just sharing. I thought you should know. Don't take it the wrong way. But behind the fake concern is a hidden satisfaction in watching chaos unfold. The pattern is always the same. They said this about you. Did you hear what she did? I probably shouldn't tell you this, but it's poison with a smile. And the damage? It's not always immediate. Sometimes it's slow, subtle. A look from someone who now doubts you. An opportunity that disappears without explanation. A connection that suddenly goes cold and you never even saw it coming. Gossips are the architects of invisible wars. Wars you didn't start, but suddenly find yourself losing. And the truth is brutal. If they gossip to you, they gossip about you. There are no exceptions, none. Understand this. Your reputation is an extension of your power, and anyone who plays with it plays with your future. Cut them off. No warnings, no negotiations, and brace yourself, because the next type doesn't just hurt your reputation, they manipulate your entire mind.
The sixth type of person Machiavelli would eliminate is the manipulator. And make no mistake, they don't need strength, they don't need power, they don't even need the truth. All they need is control over your emotions. Manipulators are masters of invisibility. They won't fight you openly, they won't shout, they won't argue. No, they whisper, they plant guilt, they weaponize your empathy, and suddenly you're apologizing for things you didn't even do. Machiavelli understood control isn't always taken by force. Sometimes it's given away through guilt, and manipulators are experts in creating invisible cages. Cages built from loyalty, obligation, and emotional confusion. They always play the victim, always. When they hurt you, somehow you end up feeling sorry for them. Look what you made me do. If you cared, you would have helped me. I wouldn't be like this if you didn't. Sound familiar? Their tactics are surgical. Guilt, emotional debt, silent treatments, and the worst, fake vulnerability. You start second-guessing yourself. Am I selfish? Am I cruel? Am I the problem? That's exactly where they want you, confused, tangled, disoriented. Because when you're busy doubting yourself, you stop noticing how much control they've taken. Here's the brutal truth. Manipulators don't want your love. They want your obedience. They don't care how much it costs you, as long as they get what they want, your time, your energy, your loyalty. Nothing else matters. Cut them off, ruthlessly, not out of hate, but out of self-respect, because every second spent explaining yourself to a manipulator is a second stolen from your own growth. And believe me, the final type isn't just toxic, they're dangerous on a whole other level.
The seventh, and perhaps most dangerous type of person Machiavelli would eliminate, is the envious. Because unlike the others, envy doesn't attack you directly. It hides, it simmers, it smiles while secretly hoping everything you have burns. The envious can't stand your progress. Your success feels like an insult to their existence. Every win you achieve, every goal you hit, every moment you rise, triggers a silent rage inside them. Rage they'll never admit, but it controls everything they do. Machiavelli understood envy as one of the most dangerous forces in human nature, because envy doesn't sleep. It waits, it watches, and when the opportunity comes, it strikes
through sabotage, betrayal, or subtle destruction of your image. And here's the cruel truth. Envy often wears the mask of support. The fake congratulations, the forced applause, the "I'm so happy for you" delivered through gritted teeth. Their words smile, but their eyes never lie. Watch their patterns. They copy you, they compete with you, they downplay your wins, and they secretly celebrate your failures. The danger of envy is that it's passive-aggressive. It doesn't need confrontation. It works behind the scenes, little comments, little jabs, planting doubt about you in the minds of others, all while pretending to be your biggest supporter. And the worst? The envious would rather see you lose than see themselves win. That's the sickness. They don't truly care about rising. They care about making sure you fall first. And that makes them dangerous beyond words. Understand this. No empire survives with envy inside its walls. Distance is not optional. It's survival. Cut them off before their quiet resentment turns into very real sabotage, because what comes next is about more than just people. It's about the final war, the one within yourself.
The ungrateful, the hidden thief of your energy. The eighth type of person Machiavelli would eliminate without a second thought is the ungrateful, because no matter what you do, how much you give, or how far you go for them, it's never enough, and it never will be. Ungrateful people drain you silently. They don't scream, they don't fight, they simply expect. Expect you to show up, expect you to help, expect you to sacrifice, while offering nothing in return but entitlement and disappointment. Machiavelli understood this clearly. When people expect your help without gratitude, it's no longer kindness, it's slavery. And the more you give, the more they believe they deserve it, not as a gift, as a right. And here's the twisted part. The moment you stop giving, suddenly you become the villain. You've changed. You're selfish now. After everything I've done for you. But the truth? You simply stopped letting them bleed you dry. You'll notice the pattern. They never say thank you, they always expect more, they weaponize guilt, and they vanish when it's your turn to need. The ungrateful don't just drain your energy, they distort your sense of fairness. You start questioning whether you're the problem, whether expecting reciprocity is selfish, whether boundaries make you a bad person. They don't. Here's a brutal truth. Anyone who expects your sacrifice but never offers theirs is not on your side. They're using you, quietly, elegantly. And the longer you stay in that dynamic, the more they convince you that being drained is normal. Cut them off. No guilt, no explanations, because if you don't, they will drain you until there's nothing left. And believe me, the next type doesn't just take your energy. They target your emotions, your mind, and your sanity.
The emotionally unstable, the walking time bomb. The ninth type of person Machiavelli would eliminate is the emotionally unstable. And listen carefully. This isn't about judging people with struggles. This is about protecting yourself from those who make their chaos your responsibility. Emotionally unstable people live in a constant state of crisis. Drama follows them everywhere. One minute they love you, the next they hate you. One second you're their savior, the next you're the villain in a story they created in their own mind. Machiavelli knew people who cannot master themselves cannot be trusted around power. Because when emotions rule, logic does. And when logic does, loyalty, stability, and strategy disappear right along with it.
Their presence feels like walking on broken glass. Every word must be measured, every tone calculated, because the smallest misunderstanding can trigger an explosion. Rage, tears, blame, and somehow it's always your fault. The pattern is exhausting. You comfort them, they drain you. You fix their chaos, then they create more. And the worst part is they don't want solutions, they want attention. They want someone to bleed with them, someone to carry the weight of emotions they refuse to process themselves. And if you refuse, suddenly you become the problem. Here's the cold reality. When someone cannot control themselves, they will eventually try to control you. Through guilt, through emotional outbursts, through constant crisis. And the longer you stay, the more their chaos becomes your new normal. Distance is not cruelty, it's survival. Because self-mastery isn't optional in the pursuit of power, and anyone who refuses to master themselves becomes a weapon against everyone around them. And what's coming next, it's the final, deadliest pattern of all.
The 10th and final type of person Machiavelli would eliminate is the morally two-faced, the one who pretends to be righteous, pure, kind, while living a secret life full of betrayal, lies, and hidden agendas, the wolf in holy robes. They preach loyalty, but practice betrayal. They speak of kindness while quietly stabbing backs. They pretend to be examples of morality while secretly indulging in the very things they condemn in others. It's hypocrisy weaponized. Machiavelli understood better than anyone the most dangerous enemies are the ones who hide behind virtue. Because when someone looks good to the world, their attacks are invisible. No one suspects them. No one questions them. And this is how they operate. They gain your trust. They present themselves as safe, honest, loyal. But behind closed doors, they gossip, they deceive, they manipulate. They play both sides. And when chaos erupts, they vanish like ghosts. The pattern never fails. They pretend to protect you. They collect your secrets. They weaponize your trust. And they vanish when the storm hits. These people are dangerous because they corrode something deeper than reputation. They corrode your ability to trust your own judgment. They make you doubt your instincts, doubt your perception, doubt the reality right in front of you. Here's the brutal truth. If someone's words don't match their actions, believe the actions every time. Because those who scream the loudest about loyalty are often the first to abandon you when it matters. Cut them off without mercy, because no empire, no power, no self-mastery can survive with a traitor sitting at the table pretending to be a friend. And once you remove them, something incredible happens. You finally make room for real power to grow.
Now you know. The people around you aren't just company. They're either fuel or poison. And if you've recognized even one of these types lurking in your circle, understand this. It's not just coincidence. It's a warning. Because whether you like it or not, you are constantly being influenced. You're either being sharpened or being drained. You're either surrounded by allies or surrounded by enemies in disguise, and pretending not to see it doesn't protect you. Ask yourself right now, how many opportunities have you lost because you were too loyal to the wrong people? How much energy, how much time, how much peace have you wasted keeping people who were quietly working against you? The truth is brutal.
In a world full of masks, the one who refuses to open their eyes always pays the price. And the price isn't small. It's your future, your power, your freedom. Your entire life can be stolen silently. So I leave you with one question. Are you brave enough to do what needs to be done? Are you ready to cut ties, set boundaries, and reclaim every ounce of your energy, your time, your focus, and your power? If this hits you deep, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and don't leave without watching the other videos on this channel. Because the real game, it's only just beginning.